Okay, so we need to get a child museum. And while we're at it, we should probably get a marketplace, because typically the people need food. That's just the thing people need. It's a shame, but it's the truth. We need to also get a childhood museum, and of course we're going to put it right there. Right next to the construction yards, so those people know. We're trying to convince these guys to be on our side. It's hard, but they got to join us. It's the only way. We don't have much of an option. We need to go with an industry now. Try to get different stuff. Let's get a jewelry factory. That sounds like a great idea. We'll set up some jewelry factories like right here. This will be our primary income. And now that we actually have a school set up, we can actually start immediately fueling the sweatshop, getting people in there, getting those ripping those high school students right out of the gates, right out of their, at the start of their career. It's like no college for you, going straight to the jewelry factory, straight to the sweatshop, as it's supposed to be. And that'll provide us most of our money, which is good, because we need that money. We're going to need a lot of money for this mission. These people appear to be harvesting... what is that? I mean, I guess that's silver. It might be salts, but I think it's silver. Is there any salt on this island? Having a salt mine, a literal salt mine, would actually be very, very useful. I'm just saying. Okay, what dictatorial regime? You can't really call yourself a dictatorial regime if you don't have a salt mine. Let's be honest, you really can't. So, in fact, I'm making that public mission #1. We're getting a salt mine. Where is the salt mine? Because I know it's a thing. Here it is. Come on. Yes, there is some salt, so we can create literal salt mines for children to bleed their hands out over. Good. Good. How expensive is this? Is it super expensive? It's only 3,000. I can afford that. I just gotta wait for the next shipment, and then I'll set up a salt mine, and then we'll send all of the kids to work there. It'll be great. Healthcare happiness is dropping. It's plummeting. I'm not really that surprised, honestly. The jewelry shop, the jewelry factory is open, and it should start getting employees. It is, which means we're gonna start making even bigger bucks. All the jewelry, all the gold should be now delivered to that, and which would be good. I'm also kind of curious if building more docks will bring more ships in, because that might be something I need to invest into. Because I remember one of the problems with this mission is ships arrive very slowly, which causes our economy to drain out, since most of our money comes from exports. Speaking of which, we should get a massive bit of money right here, like a whole bunch of it. Come on, get in there, buddy. Send it on. Well, it wasn't a massive bit, but it was definitely enough for me to invest in the salt mine, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to deface these ancient ruins, just deface this entire archaeological dig site up here by building a child labor salt mine, because that's how we do it. Build this down here. At this point, I don't really care what foreign nations have to say. Throughout the entire game, I've kind of been hiding our shit and stuff. Hiding the child labor programs just outside of the tourists, things like that. But this is a Tropican utopia. We are trying to create a Tropican utopia, and no Tropican utopia is complete without a salt mine. And you know what? Fuck the other countries that think they can tell us what to do. Fuck you, America. Fuck you, Russia. Fuck you, Europe. Fuck you, China, fuck you, everyone. Actually, no, not fuck you, China. China, you know what's good. You know what's good. You've been on our side from the start. You've been on our side from the start on the child labor programs. So, fuck those guys. I don't really care what you think anymore, because we've proven ourselves innocent. We own several islands throughout the world. Now it's time for the Tropican utopia, and that utopia is going to be built on the hands and feet of dying children. That's just how it goes. That is the cost of progress. And it's a cost we must pay. The healthcare happiness is not getting any better. Okay, so we need to actually think about getting a college. 12,000. I'm going to hold off on the college for now, because it's not essential to the economy, and I'm going to work on building up our actual economy. Getting money. Fishermen wharfs are generally inexpensive, and they provide food, so I'm going to actually build a few wharfs, and we're going to just build them along the coastline here. And I think we can actually can up their stuff, too, so we can, like, sell canned tuna and shit, which does go for some money. I think I'm going to go with that. That sounds like a good idea. Do we have any oil on the island for potential future expansions? Definitely not right now, but in the future, it'd probably be a good idea. Yes, we do have oil. How expensive is it to get this? 8,000. That's a bit hefty, but the oil has always been a very good resource, so we're probably going to go for that eventually, especially once the minimum wage goes up to 20 bucks, which I still don't know how I'm going to deal with that. Even though we're off to a much better start here, I don't know. It just $20 minimum wage sounds so insane. I'm sorry. You know, fair enough for the people that want it, but Americans here today are having enough trouble getting $15 minimum wage, and Tropico wants $20. I mean, I know the Tropican dollar or whatever is probably worth less money than the American dollar, but still, you know, we're dictators. We're not here to give you free shit. You're supposed to work for us, not the opposite, not the other way. You're working for us, getting paid what we pay you. That's how it works. Also, we already have rebels. Great. That's just what we needed. It's probably the communists. The communists heard our speech about, you know, working for us, and they didn't take much inspiration to it, even though that's pretty much the entire ideology of communism. You know, the state owns everything, and there's no currency, and you work for the state. But that's beyond the point. They don't agree with it, apparently. They don't agree with my version of it, so you gotta deal with them now. Well, that shouldn't be too hard, because I'm going to invest in a clinic, which is relatively inexpensive. It will take a foreign expert, however, but it should increase healthcare happiness, which is what these communist bastards want, because they care about, you know, public safety and health and stuff. Fucking communists,
What do you
man.
want? I'm busy ruling.
I don't understand. I just don't understand. They don't seem to understand the true goal of this country. It's not about making people happy. It's not about making people healthy. It's not about being practical and providing utilities that probably should exist. It's about me. But they don't seem to understand that. So now, look at this. We have to provide them housing and healthcare. These guys fucking suck. Fucking suck. They don't want to work for their money. They don't want to work like Macho Man worked for its money, by enslaving children to do it for him. They don't want that shit. Well, fine. We'll accommodate you for now, because we need to. But don't expect these handouts in the future. It's not going to happen. I'll build a small tenement, and that should hopefully provide what we need. Gonna wait for the next ship before I do anything. We are steadily increasing our economy, actually, which is pretty good. At least it's a much smoother start than, you know, compared to last time. Last time was fucking ridiculous. We had a fucking volcanic eruption. Actually, was it a volcano? No, I think it was like 4 tornadoes or something went off simultaneously and literally homed in on all of our economic structures and most expensive buildings and was just like, fuck you. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Apparently, the doctor is seeing himself. Well, that's good to know. And I guess that's possible.
Look around, Presidente.
Oh, fuck off. I already explained what's wrong with your party. I don't need you in here. I'll accept that, because we already have a goal of doing this.
Intelligence reports.
What do you, a rum distillery? I don't know if I really want a rum distillery this time around.
The International Health
Oh, good. The llama flu epidemic was a con. Okay, the rebel threat is increasing. That's something we can't allow. That is probably the last thing we can allow. We need to get an armory then. Of course, right next to the high school, we can just, of course, recruit high school students to be our generals. That's how the Tropican military works. We just grab them right out, shove them into a uniform, ready to go. Of course, you know, that's how most countries do it. Only in Tropico, that's how we do it for our generals. We have no vetting whatsoever. Okay, so the rebel threat is growing, which is unfortunate. Nothing really we can do about that. There's 2 rebels. We have 4 soldiers on the island. We need to get a college. That is probably our next goal, to get a college. The economy's kind of slowed down a bit. What's going on? These guys aren't doing their jobs, apparently, or they're not producing anything. Is it just not getting picked up? There's some stuff in storage in all these places. Maybe it's just not getting picked up. That might be it. Do we have enough workers in the chemist's office